When you first get to a golf course, one of the first things you typically do is grab a scorecard. On the scorecard includes information such as par and yardage, but also course rating and slope rating.
Do those trees make the bogey golfer shoot more towards the bunker?
Course rating is a predictor of performance. The course rating is what a scratch golfer is expected to shoot, so it's kind of a number similar to par often. Slope rating represents the relative difficulty of a course. So basically what that means is how yardage and obstacles on that course will affect your performance. The higher the handicap of the player, the more slope rating will affect their play.
Scratch hits it 230 in the air and land, so he'll land at 179. Let's see what the roll looks like at 179.
The course is rated very objectively. It has 10 obstacles that we look at, mostly measurements. It's mostly looking at things like fairway widths and distances to obstacles. It's a team of 4 to 6 people typically to go out and rate a full golf course.
218.
Course ratings are used to make the handicap system better. They're used to determine the difficulty of the golf course so that when you turn in a score, we can assign a differential to that score based on the course and slope rating that was played to. Also, when you go out to play a round of golf, we use those numbers to determine a course handicap for you.
Nice job. Ooh, thank you. The green's a little bit below. I don't know, do you think it's more than 10 feet?
There are 10 obstacles in the system, and each obstacle has a slightly different weighting depending on how much it impacts scoring. Each obstacle is rated on a scale of 0 to 10.
You have to almost aim at the trees.
Right.
So I think we're going to have to increase the tree value.
The lowest rating is 0. That's obviously if an obstacle does not exist on a hole. So on a hole with 0 water hazards, it'd get a 0. 10 would mean that obstacle is almost, it's going to come into play quite often. It's almost impossible to avoid, such as a very fast undulated green may get a rating of 10.
This looks pretty level to me from here, don't you think?
Topography is looking at terrain, such as elevation changes.
I'm getting 24, Jack.
So we measure the fairway width and we determine the green target, factoring in the green size and the approach shot. We also look at what the player has to deal with if they miss the fairway or the green, such as the rough, bunkers, and other recovery issues.
So we'll have that R&R adjustment for par 3 down there when we get there to see the width of the fairway.
Obstacles that can result in penalty strokes, such as out of bounds, extreme rough, and water hazards, are also evaluated based on their location and impact.
I think we got to go 2 on the trees. I think we got to go 2.
Trees are evaluated based on location and their effect on play. And the greens are rated by evaluating their contour and measuring the speed of the green using the USGA stint meter. The last of these factors is psychological, which is the overall effect of obstacles that exist on the hole.
Oh, lovely birdie.
So the next time you play, use the course rating and slope rating to measure your performance and play a fun, fair game with your friends.
Hey guys, if you're like me, you are very excited about all the changes happening in the rules of golf. And we want to talk about those changes. So to help me go through that and help you enjoy the game of golf even more, I've enlisted the help of Catherine Belanger from USGA Rules and Chris Harrison, very beautiful, very attractive man that's here today.
Incredibly average golfer.
Sure, you said it, not me.
Good to be with you ladies on the golf course. Look, a lot of changes. Why now?
So these changes have been 7 years in the making, and really just a recognition that the rules have become too complex. We wanted to make the rules more fair, simple, and just easier to understand and apply.
So simple people like me can understand the rules of golf.
Exactly.
Make it easier when you're out there on the course.
Right?
Yeah, so there's lots of changes happening, but we're going to focus on how many today? What are we going to be talking about?
We're going to focus on 5 key changes, and those are really what are going to affect most golfers when they're out there playing under these new rules.
Awesome. Well, we're excited to get out there and talk about it.
I get in plenty of trouble. I'll show you how it's done. Son of a gun.
Chris, everything going okay over here?
No, it's not. Lost my drive in the shrubs.
Sorry to hear that.
Can't find it. But Catherine, I got 5 minutes to look still.
So in the new rules, you actually only have 3 minutes for
Wow.
search now.
Okay. Shorten it up just to speed up play.
Try and speed up play, and when you're searching, you're likely to find the ball sooner rather than later.
Okay, well, I haven't
True.
used my 3 minutes. I'm still looking. And I accidentally moved my ball. That's a penalty, right?
No penalty. There's
No
a change there. If the ball's accidentally moved during search, no penalty to you.
So what do I do?
Just replace the ball on the spot.
Back where I accidentally hit it. Okay, ball's in play.
Yep,
So play as is or take an unplayable.
correct.
Okay.
So what happens if he doesn't find it at all?
So if it isn't found in those 3 minutes for search, you'd have to play under stroke and distance. So for one penalty stroke, go back to the spot he last played from.
Any other options?
So there might be. If the local rule for stroke and distance is in effect, you can actually, for 2 penalty strokes, drop up near where that ball was lost.
Huh.
Another way to help pace the play. Okay, Catherine, I've hit it into this hazard. What can I do now under the new rules?
We actually have a terminology change for these new rules. We don't have hazards anymore. We have separate rules for bunkers, and then what you used to know as water hazards are now penalty areas.
So any hazard that's not a bunker is known as a penalty area, and bunkers are just bunkers.
Right, so we've got these red and yellow penalty areas now.
All right, so if I want to go ahead and hit it, Chris is going to demonstrate for us. What can we do under the new rules?
So you can actually do anything in here, the penalty area, that you could do if your ball was in the fairway or the rough.
I like what I'm doing now should be illegal. It
Not
was.
anymore.
I can ground this club.
Correct.
What if I want to take a practice swing?
No problem.
I can hit the ground, test it, everything. Okay.
Yep.
What about this stuff? I would love to move this stuff around my ball, but I'm in this penalty area.
So loose impediments, go ahead, move them out of the way.
No penalty.
As long as the ball doesn't move,
all right.
no penalty.
Excellent.
So if I decide that I don't want to hit it out of the penalty area, or I can't hit it out of the penalty area, what are my options then?
So you can still take relief for 1 penalty stroke outside of the penalty area.
Okay.
All right.
So we've got this red penalty area here. You want to take lateral relief, 2 club lengths from where it last entered.
But dropping it has changed. Now, I'm old enough to remember we used to have to roll it down our back.
Now in these new rules of golf, we're dropping from at knee height.
Okay, so I go out about knee height.
Yep, straight down,
Let her go.
right in the relief area.
Okay.
And what is it about dropping from knee height that's what you landed on?
So dropping from knee height, we retain the randomness in dropping, but hoping to reduce the number of times players would have to drop again.
And the same rule applies of, 2 drops. If it does roll back in the hazard or whatever, then place it.
Yep, we still have kind of drop, place.
Okay.
The ball rolls outside of the relief area.
Here, do you mind grabbing the stick for me?
Absolutely.
Well, actually, Chris, you can now putt with the flag stick in.
Really?
Yes,
Oh.
you don't have to have it removed anymore.
And what happens if you hit the flag stick as the ball goes in?
So no penalty. In this case, the ball's hold, but if it were to bounce off, no penalty still, but play the ball as it lies.
That's great. I like it.
Yeah, great for pace of play.
Definitely. So you actually can now repair any damage that's been caused by another person. So spike marks, scuff marks with people's foot.
Clearly, there's something in front of this ball, not a ball mark. I can repair that.
Yeah, scuff mark caused by another player, go ahead
Tap
and
it
fix
down.
it.
With the stick in,
Yep,
play away.
all okay.
There you go.
Easy. Catherine, this has been great. I love what the USGA has done. It's really going to make the game a lot more fun. So when do my boys and I at the club have to start playing by these new rules?
So January 1st, you're going to start playing at them as well as every other level of the game.
All right.
Well, you guys can be a part of the conversation by using hashtag GolfRules2019, and we want to see how you're using the new golf rules in your everyday life. And if you want to learn more, you can go to USGA.org or download the official USGA Rules app.
The 2 fundamental principles of golf are play the ball as it lies and play the course as you find it. But to make the game more fair, you aren't required to play from ground under repair, temporary water, animal holes, or immovable obstructions such as cart paths and sprinkler heads. These are known as abnormal course conditions. If you want to play your ball as it lies, go right ahead, but you are allowed to take relief without penalty. Here's how. First, you need to determine the nearest spot, no closer to the hole, where the abnormal course condition is no longer in your way. It's helpful to mark that spot with a T. Then, determine the area within 1 club length, no closer to the hole. Drop your ball and play on. Sometimes, your ball ends up in a place where it is impossible or difficult to play from. Only you can decide if your ball is unplayable. You can make that decision anywhere on the course except for one, when your ball is in a penalty area, where the penalty area rule applies. When deciding a ball is unplayable, you have 3 relief options, but all come with a 1-stroke penalty. The most frequently used option is to drop within 2 club lengths of the ball, but no closer to the hole. The second option is to imagine a straight line from the hole through the location of the unplayable ball. Choose a spot on that line behind your ball, then drop and play from within 1 club length of it, not nearer the hole. And the least frequently used option is stroke and distance, which means you can go back to the spot where you last played. There is a fourth option that only applies when you decide your ball is unplayable in a bunker. More on that in the video about bunkers.
Everybody has spent time at the beach, and while it can be enjoyable, on the golf course, most players prefer to avoid these specially prepared areas of sand called bunkers. If you happen to find yourself in a bunker, make sure you don't deliberately touch the sand to test its consistency, such as with your hand, a rake, or a club. Also, don't touch the sand behind or in front of the ball or during a practice swing, even if by accident. The good news is you can move loose impediments and movable obstructions, and even touch the sand with your club elsewhere in the bunker, as long as it is not to test the condition. When you decide your ball is unplayable in a bunker, there are several one-stroke penalty options to consider. In the bunker, you can either drop within 2 club lengths, or go back on the line. Or, for a 2-stroke penalty, you can get out of the bunker by going back on the line as far as you like. Also, going back to where you last played is an alternative, under stroke and distance. The primary use of a flagstick is to show the location of the hole. Before playing a shot from anywhere on the course, you can pull the flagstick or get someone to attend the flagstick and pull it before your ball gets to the hole. In either of these cases, the only thing that matters is that your ball doesn't hit the flagstick. Additionally, you can leave the flagstick in the hole for any reason, which should help improve pace of play. If your ball hits the flagstick, there is no longer a penalty. This applies to a shot from anywhere on the course, even a putt from the putting green.
The 2 fundamental principles in golf are play the ball as it lies and play the course as you find it. But sometimes you just can't do that when artificial obstacles such as rakes, water bottles, player equipment, wastebaskets, or other objects get in your way. They are known as movable obstructions. These obstacles can be moved out of your way anywhere, even in bunkers and penalty areas. While not required, it's a good idea to mark your ball before moving an obstruction. If the ball moves, there is no penalty. Just simply replace it and play on. A fundamental principle in golf is play the course as you find it, but it's not always that simple. Leaves, branches, grass clippings, and other natural objects sometimes get in the way. These are known as loose impediments. These attached natural objects can make things more difficult than necessary. Fortunately, you are allowed to move loose impediments without penalty, even in bunkers and penalty areas. But there is an element of risk involved. If moving loose impediments causes your ball to move, you must replace it and add 1 penalty stroke, unless it happens on the putting green, where there is no penalty.
Penalty areas include any body of water on the course, plus any other areas that have been marked. If you happen to find your ball in a penalty area, you can play your ball as it lies, if possible to do so. Before playing the stroke, it's okay to ground your club, take practice swings that touch the ground, and move loose impediments. Penalty areas can be marked either red or yellow, and for one penalty stroke, you have several relief options. The first one is to play a ball under stroke and distance from where you made your last stroke. Another option is to take back on the line relief by imagining a straight line from the hole through the spot where your ball last crossed into the penalty area. Choose a spot on that line, then drop and play from within one club length of it, not nearer the hole. You do have a third relief option if your ball is in a red penalty area that allows you to find the spot where your ball last crossed into the penalty area and drop a ball within 2 club lengths of that spot, no closer to the hole. Also, there may be an area marked as a drop zone that could be available as an additional option.
The first step in taking free relief from conditions such as ground under repair, temporary water, and immovable obstructions is to find the nearest point of complete relief. This is the spot, either left of, right of, or behind, where your ball lies that is not closer to the hole and where the condition you are taking relief from is no longer in your way. You determine this spot by simulating the stance, swing, and direction of play you would use to play your ball if the condition didn't exist. The nearest point can be different depending on whether you are right or left-handed, your height, or your choice of club, etc. It's important to remember the nearest point isn't always the nicest point. In this case, the player's nearest point of complete relief from this path is under the tree, not to the left of the path in the clear. So it's a good idea not to lift your ball before figuring this out, because sometimes the best option is to just play the ball as it lies.
How many times have you heard the expression, play your ball as it lies? Or, play the course as you find it? But what does that really mean? The short answer is, you can't make improvements that might help you gain an advantage as you get ready to play. That includes the area where your ball lies, how you position your body when taking a stance, or your intended swing, and anywhere along your line to the hole. This is true even in the relief area where a ball would be dropped or placed. Examples include pressing a club on the ground to improve your lie, moving, bending, or breaking anything growing or permanent, smoothing out your path to the hole, brushing away sand or loose soil, or removing dew, frost, or water. If you hit your golf ball out of bounds or you just lose it, the rules require you to play another one from where you last hit under the penalty of stroke and distance. Looking for a lost ball only to have to return to the previous spot and play the next shot can take a long time and disrupt the pace of play. To help with this, consider playing a provisional ball.
I'm gonna need to hit a provisional.
Not only does it save time, it also takes away from the uncertainty. If you find your original ball in bounds within the 3-minute search time, then finish playing the hole with it and pick that provisional up. But if you can't find it, or it is out of bounds, then just continue playing the provisional ball. The rules allow many special permissions on the putting green that you don't get anywhere else. Marking, lifting, and cleaning your ball on the green is always permitted. And while you cannot repair aeration holes, natural surface imperfection, or any normal wear on the green, there's lots you can do. It's okay to repair most damage, such as ball marks, old hole plugs, spike marks, and anything caused by shoes, animals, or maintenance practices. All of those fixes must be done promptly and not improve your line of play beyond the repair. The green is also the only place on the course where you can remove sand and loose soil, and touching the green to point where you expect to aim or putt is also permitted.